Howdy y'all. It's day 30 on the CT, and I'm going to recap day 29 yesterday. So we started out at that high camp. Brianna left before me. It was pretty cold that morning, I was wearing all my gloves and still I haven't wearing my puffy jacket. I really just wear my rain jacket or wind jacket, and usually when I'm moving, that keeps me plenty warm. Another spectacular day above tree line. Great mountains and everything. Let's see. So after a little while, there was a lake, and there were some campers parked by the lake that had camped by the lake, I guess. And they were. I just kind of passed them by. They didn't look familiar to me. But later, I also ran into Yoda. Yoda came up from behind me. He's a CDT hiker that I met in Lake City at that RV park I stayed at. Good guy. He's cool. He's hiking. So he went northbound, finished the CDT, but was coming back and doing the Colorado Trail, and also going to pick up some of the CDT pieces that were really snowy, and so he had to road walk around those. And so he wanted to kind of see them for real. So good for him. Anyway, so he came up, and then we all chatted. Turns out he knew Matthias and Lee also. So then we kept going. Yoda took off. He was getting ready to split off from the CDT, or from the Colorado Trail into the CDT, which was just not too far where that happened from there. So we didn't really, Matthias and Lee and I kind of parted ways. I was a little ahead. But then we got to this amazing gorge or canyon with Elk Creek in the bottom of it. I found out later. Amazing, really sheer sides, beautiful mountains, granite. When we got up there, you could see right down into it. There was like a plateau down below, had a couple of lakes on it with a cliff going down into the gorge. Just spectacular. And it turns out the CT was going to go right through there, and I was really excited. So we had to descend like a ton of switchbacks down this really steep hillside. It wasn't rocky, it was just kind of grasses and stuff. And then down into that. Now the gorge was very rocky, and there was a creek down in the middle of it. But we kept just going into that further, it kind of broadened out. Reminded me a lot of Kings Canyon National Park, was near Yosemite, as far as like the big granite mountains around it, and just super pretty. And then, so we were all, and then Brianna was ahead, but I caught up with her when she was taking a break, and Matthias and Lee caught up, and we were all kind of hanging out. And then Yoda comes by, and we're like, he changed his mind. He decided to finish the CT and then hitch up to Pagosa Springs and do some of the stuff that he missed. So he'd missed some of the things, but he'd catch a lot of the San Juans he missed. So that was kind of cool. And then, so that gorge and that valley goes down to where the Silverton train comes through, and at the Animas River, which flows down into Durango. So you could take a shortcut and just float down the Animas River. I'm sure it has some rapids, but so anyway, we had to walk the train tracks for a little bit, cross the Animas River, and then there's a big climb up to Molas Pass from there. So now I went up for a good part of it, but I had ordered shoes because my tread was terrible, and so I had those go to the Molas Lake campground, which was just like, I don't know, maybe half a mile off the trail. So that was partway up the climb. Went to the campground. My shoes had just gotten there, like maybe an hour before. Normally they charge you a $10 fee to provide boxes storage for you. But she waived it because they hadn't even processed it yet. So that was very nice of her. I bought a couple of ice cream sandwiches. Tried on my new kicks. They feel great. Tossed the old ones in the trash. And then Matthias and Lee came up, so we chatted a bit. It turns out I thought they were going to resupply at Mullis Lake, and they don't have much but like snacks and stuff. But it turns out they had a box sent to them. So they were unpacking that box and getting that all done. So then I took off, and it was starting to look pretty threatening. There was thunder, some big thunderheads in the sky. But I only had like a mile and a half to get to the pass, Mullis Pass, where I would hitch into Silverton. So I got up there. I hitched in pretty easily. Didn't have to wait too long. I think it was maybe 30 minutes, 45. Got picked up by this amazing, wonderful woman. Name is Allison. She was going to run the Imogen trail race. Goes over Imogen Pass, except the pass had an avalanche, and so they were going to have to reroute it. They were hoping that they could get it reopened so they could normally do it. And interestingly enough, this is the same race that about a week ago, I got a hitch from a guy that was going to go run up San Luis Peak as a training run for this Imogen Pass race. So pretty funny. But Allison, it turns out, lives in Durango, right at the trailhead. So when I finish, she like lives right there. And she said, here's my cell. Give me a call or text me when you're there. If you need a ride into town, if you need a place to stay, whatever. I'm here to help, which was like amazing. So I'm not sure if I'll have to take her up on it, but super nice. So she dropped me into Silverton and told me like if I couldn't find a place to stay where some BLM land was, then I could camp on if I needed to. So I got into Silverton, just kind of went to the first motel I saw. They were booked. I had 5G, 4 bars, but the internet, just sucked. It was impossible to load anything. But I finally was able to get like hotels on Google Maps and just started calling all of them, and they were all booked. So there was like a wedding in town, or maybe multiple. I don't know. It was a Friday night. So eventually I called one place, and the woman was really nice, and she suggested some different alternatives to what other people had suggested. And one was this RV park on the outside of town, which was gold. They have some little cabins, and so I was able to get one for like $150 for that night. So that was cool. Went, got dinner, came back, did laundry, figured out what I needed for resupply. The grocery store closed before I could get there, so I knew I was going to get there right as it opened at 7. And then also arranged my flight out of Durango. So I decided, as opposed to trying to get to Denver and flying out of Denver, which would also probably mean like an extra, like a bus ride all day, and then a hotel in Denver that, even if it was, sorry. Can you get by? Yeah, okay. Hey, so had a few mountain bikers today, not too many, so they've been very friendly and nice, so thank you. So decided to fly out of Durango, much less hassle, and probably, definitely more expensive, but in the long run probably about the same. So I'm all set to fly out basically in a little less than a week. So 6 days, yeah. And so I should finish in 5 days. Wow, which is hard to believe. Anyway, hopefully that all works out and I don't have to cancel or change flights. Or I went ahead and booked a hotel in Durango, so I'm ready for that. And I guess that's it. Thanks. Bye.